What makes an amazing risotto?
Ooh, to me, amazing risotto has to do with the perfectly cooked rice. So not mush, still whole grain, individual grains of rice. And then a big part of it is actually the sauce and the starch and the creaminess that comes out of it.
Okay. So you're like a purist, because I feel like people order risotto because of like what it comes with on the menu.
Oh, it's about the rice.
Yeah.
Right? It's about the rice.
That. You don't think about cooking risotto sous vide because it's so traditional, wooden spoon, clockwise, so many rules around it. Everyone gets kicked off of all the cooking shows on TV. It's gonna be bomb, it's gonna be easy, it's gonna be a weeknight win. Should we jump into it?
Yeah.
What do you think? All right, so all you need right off the bat, zippy lock bag. We recommend freezer bags for all things sous vide. So once you have that, we're gonna go with the one that you can easily find at your store. So we already have that scaled out. Check it out. Beautiful, short grain, thick, really meaty. It's heavy starch rice, so we wanna give it one rinse first. The reason for the first rinse, and the only rinse, is to kind of get rid of that chalky, kind of raw taste on the outside. What are you making over here, Matt?
Firm starter.
Firm starter?
What's starter for panettone?
What is a firm starter?
So this is like, I mean, this is pretty gnarly looking bucket, but this is a sour culture, which is really loose. That's a liquid starter. So when you add flour, turn it into a firm starter. So it's more like a dough.
Cool. Still a little cloudy. You want to keep that starch in there because that starch is gonna thicken up as it cools, and that gives us that beautiful risotto texture. So this can go right in the bag. Kyle, why do we add parm during the cook? Why not just at the end? Is it kind of like a jump start? A cheesy jump start?
Melt it a little bit more evenly, because when you're taking it out, it's not like you're taking it right off the stovetop. It's a little bit cooler than you would be doing stovetop. And then you get that flavor absorption throughout the whole grain of rice with all that.
Cool. Flavor absorption.
More flavor.
All right. Oh my God, this is gonna take forever. No way. We're not gonna microplane this. We're gonna save the microplane for the end. Let's get a little coarser, speed this up. What is it like on SpongeBob? They're like, 10 hours later. Now we're moving. If you don't want to go through what I'm going through, just buy pre-ground cheese. Pepper me. Thank you. Do you like coarse or fine with this? Fine. All right. This is obviously totally optional with the pepper. You can add chili flakes. You could add some fennel. Okay, some salt. Don't go too heavy with the salt because we already have Parmesan in there. Lots of salt, MSG, umami, and we're gonna be adding more Parmesan later. So keep it light. So typically when you cook risotto, I've heard people say you do 2 parts liquid, 1 part rice, but cooking risotto stovetop's kind of a game where you start off with less liquid, cook it down, and then as it's cooking, you add more and more stock, water, whatever you want. So it's not actually 2 to 1. Typically it's around maybe 3 or 4 to 1 because there's a reduction happening, but when you're doing a sous vide, all the moisture is still trapped in the bag, so 3 to 1 is actually a perfect ratio. So we're doing water. Again, you don't have to do water. You can do shellfish broth, fish stock, chicken broth, you know, it's up to you. So when scaling with liquids, here. All All right, 3 to 1. 600 grams of water, 200 grams of rice. Doesn't look that great, huh? It's gonna be great though. So we have our Joule cranking away over here. So we're up at about 98 degrees Celsius. So pretty close to boiling. So we're gonna pop this in. So with this, it's gonna cook for 30 minutes, which is maybe a tad longer than you typically cook a risotto. While this is cooking, you can actually start prepping other things. So Kyle was kind enough to get some other goodies going for us. This is like kind of a clean slate of a base. You know, you can go in many different directions with this. You can go with kind of sugar snap peas with it. You can go in like a caramelized tomato direction or mushroom. You know, there's so many different ways you can explore and have your risotto. So now you have downtime. Let's get that prepping. Let's find our dishes. And those 30 minutes are gonna fly by. We're gonna ask Kyle why some people say you need to stir risotto clockwise.
Okay. I was never told whether or not it needed to be clockwise or counterclockwise, but it was a stickler of same direction the whole time. And what the reason they gave me for this was that you would get the grains of rice all in one direction, and they're moving in one direction as you're stirring them. And if you go back the other way, you could possibly break the grains of rice.
Really?
Right.
Was that an Italian restaurant or where was that?
This was at a French restaurant.
At a French restaurant?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna name the name.
Cool. So it's been 30 minutes. We've mixed our risotto a couple times. You only really need to do it once halfway through. So it looks a little thin, but you know, it's kind of wild. Like volume-wise, we only put like that much rice in there. It's kind of pretty cool how it expands. So let's transfer that into a bowl for mixing. So we're gonna add 2 egg yolks to it. I know people are gonna say, egg yolks, that's not risotto. Well, we feel like it kind of brings the creamy texture to the next level. So yeah, we are cheating a little bit. It's not a true risotto. We know. Some gorgeous butter. All right, so this is gonna appear way too thin at first, because yeah, you're right. But as it cools down and the yolk begins to cook, it's gonna thicken up. And also the starches are gonna begin to gel. So don't fret, just be patient. This usually takes like maybe 5 minutes or so, right? Maybe 10, if that. Smells good. This is like a perfect dish for like a overcast day in Seattle, Washington. So we're gonna let that chill for a little bit. But while that's chilling for about 5 minutes, we're gonna plate up a couple other options.
Olive oil, this guy.
You want some?
Yeah, give it a little drizzle.
More fat. There you have it. That's sous vide risotto. I know, it's not traditional, but it's still good, still fun, still easy. Please give it a try. Chefstips.com, get the recipe. Hope you enjoy.